Wheels. Hey, welcome back, Wheels. And how did the marathon go?
Yeah, mate, it was an awesome thing to be a part of. It was it's a pretty historic marathon as the Boston Marathon. But nah, hadn't done anything like that before. Really, it was certainly a big physical and mental test. Unfortunately, blew out pretty much every muscle in my lower legs, which is good. But nah, I mean, I think it was a really cool, test of your mental state. And it was awesome to have some Free Jacks players down there supporting. It was pretty special.
Because that's like a bucket list thing that a lot of people aspire to, especially over here in New Zealand, the guys who run marathons anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, no, for sure. It definitely is. And honestly, it was never a bucket list item for me. But I think when I first arrived to America, the Boston Marathon was one of the first sporting events I came to. And obviously in 2013 there was some horrific bombings in that marathon, and it's historical for not necessarily good reasons, but a lot of great reasons as well. But yeah, there were people out there running it with with one leg, and people in wheelchairs, and some pretty inspirational athletes giving it a go. So yeah, it's cool to be a part of that group now.
Oh, yeah, I'm proud of you as well, mate. Like, it's something, I always wanted to do a marathon. I don't think I'll ever get there anymore. The knees are gone. But hey, it's all part of life, isn't it? So, hey,
That's it, mate. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So we'll hit the results. So we'll
yeah,
start with the Tyree Harbour game. For me,
yeah.
that was a real close game, and it's not often that it came down to kicking and discipline. So, you know,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's we know how hard it is to win out at Peter Johnson Park, and I know all the games were they were Thursday night under
yeah,
lights, so that's a pretty cool thing for the community to get around. But no, I mean, Harbour obviously wanted to get up. It was Aleki Morris Lome's 100th game for the club, which is a magnificent achievement, and I know Aleki well, and he deserves all the accolades he can get. So it's awesome that they got up for him. And yeah, I know Harbour didn't cross the dotted line, but they certainly took the opportunities with points, and it was a real dogfight, which you can always expect between Harbour and Tyree. Tyree's such a physical side, but Harbour continue to impress, don't they, in the opening stages of this year's competition? So yeah, they're sort of hot favourites for me at the moment.
yeah. And I think Phil Young should be happy with their performance. They had an opportunity to win
Yeah.
it with the last kick, and hey, that's footy. But I think Tyree have surprised me, and they're tracking really well. So hopefully next week, I have Phil on here, and we can chat to him next week. So that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I mean Tyree. If Tyree have a bit of a rough year, you can never really count them out for consecutive years. You always know that they're too good of a club to bounce back. So yeah, they'll be in the running at the end of the year for sure.
Yeah, and of course, Dunedin, they had AU out at Tahuna, bit of one-way traffic as we suspected, but it's not often that you see Dunedin down the bottom of the table, so that's quite surprising as well. So, but I think that Dunedin's going to bounce back. They'll take a lot out of this game.
Yeah, it was great to see some Premier Rugby out at Tahuna Park. I imagine that's probably the first Premier Rugby game that's been there in a long time. So that's awesome to see that venue being utilised after the renovations for the Women's World Cup. But yeah, I did expect that game to be one way traffic again. I think Dunedin have too much firepower in the back line, and yeah, AU certainly seem to be struggling a little bit, which is tough to see. But I listened to their post-match interviews, and I think it was Patelo Amato said that they're going to make sure that they just take each week as it comes, and make sure that the group stays real motivated ahead of each game, which is I think the only thing you can really do. When you've had a few tough losses to start, is just continue to press the restart button and take each game as it comes.
Yeah. And so I managed, as you've seen in the highlights, I got out to the stadium. It was pretty cool to watch two games, and we had GI up against Varsity, which was a sort of game of two halves, really. So Varsity came out the gate strong, and GI took a while to get into their work. So yeah, and University built a lead that they couldn't surrender in the end, even down to 14
Yeah.
men at that stage. So yeah,
Yeah, no, the fast track under the lights at the stadium certainly suited the students, and I think having Tane Robinson at 10, the Highlander, certainly has made a real difference to their attack. He can just put them in the right areas of the field and really launch off the platform that the forwards are laying. But Ricky Jackson's playing some good rugby for varsity, which is good to see. And hopefully he'll be back in that Otago setup at the end of the year. It's great to see him back out there. But no, the students certainly look the goods. I know they had a bit of I guess a slow start against Southern, and then they really kicked into gear against Zingery Richmond, and then obviously against Green Island, who are a very good side, got it going good there. But yeah, a good comeback from Green Island, but as you said, just a bit too little, too late, and Varsity did a good job to sort of open the valve in the first half and pile lots of points on.
Yeah, and like talking with Marty, he was saying, like as you said the other last week, it's sort of a bogey team for GI, and Varsity have had the wood on them over the last couple of seasons. So yeah, it's just one of those games. And I managed to talk to Ricky after the game as well, and they're just taking one game at a time as well.
Mm. Yeah, it's in it. That's what you should do in Premier Rugby. Yeah, it's just week by week. What are we into round? Was it round 4 this week? Is that
No,
right?
round
Round
five,
five?
I believe, this week. Yeah, we're coming up to round five. So we had the classic with Southern and Zingaree.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's that game always is a classic, and I know that Zingery are always a bit of a bogey team for the Magpies, eh? So that was a high scoring game. Was it 55-33 or something like that?
Yeah, no, it was.
Um,
Yep.
what's the score? So no, there were some really nice tries scored by both teams really. And I know Southern got off to a bit of a red hot start in the first half, then Zingery sort of threw a few punches back. But probably similar to that game with Varsity and Green Island, Southern probably just got off to, I guess, too good of a start to sort of claw back. But yeah, it's good. I'm looking forward to this week's matchups as well. There's some really good ones.
Yeah, yeah. When I was talking, because the Southern performance was full of errors, and they threw the ball around, and as Harry said, they wanted to run with it before they kicked it. So if you win ugly, it's a good way to win. So there's still a lot to
Yeah,
come from Southern. So that's and talking with William, they're just wanting to try to put performances together and just trying to play footy, and after the red hot start they had
yeah,
last season and to start slowly like this is probably a bit of a, I don't know, upsetting for their club. But I'm sure they're going to be able to bounce back. It's just a matter of, as you say, like um, looking after the errors, discipline, and they can score tries on people. There's no two ways about that.
yeah. No, they've got some very skillful players. Zingery. Yeah, I'll give the predictions for this weekend's matches. You'll have to read them out to me. I've forgot them, but no, they've
Yeah,
got some real good talent.
yeah. So we've got AU up against Kike. Me personally, I think it'll go that way. Kike should be too good. And then you've got
100%, I agree. I think the Demons is that Demons at Kike's home ground.
no, it's at North Ground. So I
Oh,
think
it's at the North Ground. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. You'll probably find that AU will compete in the first half like they normally do. So it'll be close for about
yeah,
20, 30 minutes. And then you should see Kite
yeah.
pull away, with a bit more depth and a bit more talent.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think if you can get some, yeah, you can get some fast points on the board early. You never know what can happen, but I think yeah, I think Kike will be too fast out wide and too skillful.
Yeah, yeah, did correct. And then you've got University down at the University Oval up against Dunedin. So
Yeah,
what's your thoughts on that one?
it's a tough one. Sharkies and the students, eh?
Yeah,
It's a real tough one. I guess yeah, Dunedin will have a lot of confidence putting all those points on AU. Varsity will be feeling really good after that win against Green Island. I'll probably take Varsity 1-12. I think it'll be a really close game as it always usually is between those two teams. But I think the students, um, particularly if they've got Tane Robinson playing, which I think they will. I don't think he was named in the Highlanders. I think that they'll be too good.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Their teamwork is really impressive. Like watching them, like they're working as a unit, and I think that's going
Yeah,
to bode well for the rest of the season for them. And I think they got some big timber in their line out, and they got some
yeah,
good solid forwards. Steve's running that forward pack real well. He's a solid man. He
yeah, good
got
player.
two. He nearly got two meat pies in the weekend on Thursday night, but he got a good one anyway. So it's good to see Steve doing really well.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. He's a great kid. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's definitely a well added good full pack that varsity team.
Yeah, and then you got probably one of the games of the round Harbour out at Harbour with GI. So that'll be real interesting to see how that those two get on.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game. I saw in the paper that yeah, obviously GI are still having some injury troubles, particularly in the front row, which is obviously concerning for them. Harbour at Watson Park, I think Harbour are just on a bit of a roll at the moment, so I think that they'll be too good out there. Particularly if they can, I don't know what the forecast is like for this weekend, but I heard things are starting to get a little bit colder down south, and I think that suits Harbour out at Watson Park. If there's a little bit of wind, it's pretty tough for those away teams to come and play in those conditions. So, yeah, if they get their big ball carriers going, and then their finishers out wide, they'll be in a good place.
Yeah, and if Rico's running that back line the way he's been running it, I think that they'll do well. As you said, GI's depth
Yeah,
is being tested already. So, hey, it's still, if GI can work together as a team, because they didn't do that in the first half against Varsity, I think if they can work together as a team, and I think Finchie's too much of a smart coach to not notice that. I think
yeah,
it'll be a close game. Oh, definitely.
yeah. They've got great coaches. Finch is awesome, and then Marty Banks is running their defense. I assume he's still doing that this year. So, no, they're a real smart team. Like last year, you wouldn't say they had the star-studded side, but they just were playing for each other each week, and they could execute their game plan to the best of their ability. So, I wouldn't discourage them from winning against Harbour, but I think I definitely like the way Harbour's playing at the moment. Yeah,
Yeah, I tend to agree with you too. They're playing nice, solid footy, and they're racking up points when they need to. Like if you can, Rico can kick 5 points, 5 field goals. You know what I mean, and they still get over the chalk and still get a win. I think it's a great thing for them. So we've got Southern at Bathgate Park for the Rod Napier Memorial or Trophy up against Torrey. So I'm going to go watch
yeah,
that one, to be honest. So I want to go see how they're tracking, and I want to actually see Tyree play because I haven't managed to go see them yet. So it's going to be real interesting.
yeah, yeah. No, well, those two teams historically always play really good, tight, nail-biting matches. I mean, yeah, that's a flip of the coin, really, for me. This game, I think. Yeah, my heart's always going to go with Southern, but I think yeah, Tyree are such a gritty team, and I think the Magpies will really want to try and I guess move the ball and get them on the outside. Get the ball into Mackenzie Palmer's hands as much as possible and see what magic he can create. But yeah, I haven't seen the team sheets for this week, so I don't know what the matchups will be. But I know that Josh Funger is playing for the Highlanders, making his the debut off the bench, which is so cool to see. So he'll be a bit of a loss for the Eels, but they'll have the other Funga brother in there, Matt, causing a bit of a ruckus. But no, I think this game will be won and lost up front. Whoever can sort of dominate up front and lay the platform for the back lines will get the job done, I think. And yeah, Tyree is such a gritty team; they won't go away.
Yeah, I tend to agree that with Phil Young coming on board, he's really shored up their defence, and that was shown last week. So I
Yep.
expect more from
Yep.
Tyree, solid defence, and Southern trying to pound their way through there. So it's going to be an
Yep.
interesting game. I can say that much.
Yeah. No, it'd be great. What is the forecast out there for Saturday?
Oh, I'm not sure. I tend to take it day by day, and you know what I mean. I like surprises. Like I got up this morning, there was a frost on the car, and I'm like, shit. So, and I'm still wearing my shorts. I'm going to try and wear my shorts as long as I can. So, it looks like a sunny day. Should be, yeah, sunny, frosty morning. and good day for footy.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's a good round of Premier Rugby for sure coming up. So
Yeah,
no, it's tough to pick a I guess the final at the moment. If you had to pick a way too early final, it's tough. But yeah, definitely love the look of Varsity and Harbour. They could be yeah, well there at the end.
yeah, no, they should be as well. And I'm going to shoot out
Yeah.
just before the Southern game. I'm going to catch up with the Pirates. They got their first home game for their senior.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
yep.
on that note, yeah, I played all my junior footy at Pirates. I love that club, so that's like so cool to see Hancock Park back in action, and Glenn Dickson's done an awesome job getting that back up and going. So
Yeah,
our Free Jacks head coach Ryan Martin was their number 9 for I think 137 Premier games. He always loves to say so. Yeah, there's lots of Pirates connections everywhere around the world.
yeah. And I've got today I've got Dicko coming in with Paul Miller, and they're gonna
Oh,
talk
great!
about that. So yeah, so that's who I've got
Oh,
interview
awesome.
after we've
Okay,
had our chat. So that's going to be pretty cool, isn't it? So have you got your try of the week? Did you have a try of the
great.
week?
That's phenomenal. No, love the Pirates.
Yeah. So did you have a try of the week?
Ooh, did I have a try of the week? Geez, I actually, unfortunately, my brain has has been pretty dysfunctional the past 48 hours. So it would definitely have been one of those tries under the roof. I mean, it's obviously biased, but I think the Wyndham try. I think you had even told to me that Wyndham try down the blind side for Southern was pretty nice. Um, just from like a visually appealing point of view, watching rugby. So yeah, I'll just give it that one.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you because when I was at the ground and I watched it face on, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. And then when I actually
Yeah,
went through all the video footage, all of a sudden, Toops makes the break, and he's a bit alone, and then
yeah,
Wyndham's not even in the shot, and all of a sudden he pops this ball up. It looks like it's going to be intercepted. It's going to nowhere, and all of a sudden Wyndham's right there, and you can just see
mm,
the gas he piled on. And as you said, speed is the if you can't teach
yeah.
speed, and it was just he just blew everyone away with the speed to get into that gap, grab that ball, and go. Because on the inside of him, I think Bucky
100%.
was
Yeah, it
Bucky.
was really good.
Yeah, yeah. Because on the inside, Bucky was there, and you would expect Bucky to get there, but he didn't. So yeah.
Bucky, he's too slow, far too slow.
Sorry, Bucky, I didn't say that. Right out, we'll
You can
leave it
take it as a
there.
joke.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, thanks, AC. Another good round. Looking forward to watching the highlights on Sunday. Always plug into the Elevate
yeah,
analysis portal
yeah.
and get the highlights. So I love it. It's a good way to spend the Sunday.
Oh no, awesome, Wheels, and I enjoy these chats I had with you. So, and it helps me a lot because it makes me think about rugby a lot more. And you're a bit of a how would you say, knowledgeable young fella. So, pretty happy to have you on board and doing this with me this season.
Nah, awesome. Happy to do it, mate. It's good to stay connected with the rugby over there. So yeah, definitely miss it. So we'll be in touch next week.
Yep, we'll do it again next week. Cheers, Wheels.
Good man. Thanks.
Thanks. How they can combine it and make that team work, especially after last season. So, but they've done it. They've got the start they wanted, and the boys are all on board. And Wise is
Who's helping them?
Craig Lawrence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I went to school with Craig.
So you're South Otago boy.
Yeah, yeah, and he's the most travelled coach in Otago because he lives in Roxburgh.
Oh shit.
So he comes up every week.
Oh, wow.
Trainings. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Okay.
The bugger still owes me sausages. If you turn that on, because I keep harping on about that.
Okay. Yeah, they've had a hell of a start. They beat Tory out there, beat Southern at home.
Yeah,
He would have enjoyed that one, wouldn't he?
he did.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
did. I walked into the changing rooms afterwards, and him and Craig had this huge smile because Craig was at Southern as well.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
and so
right.
they had this huge smile on their face and said, I just looked at Craig and said, "Get fucked."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Do you want a port?" I went, "Okay."
Yeah.
But it was good to see them smiling.
Do they have a port after a win, do they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then I was like, they did that at Southern, and old Case would be in there sucking on the port as well.
Oh,
So,
right.
Yeah, Yeah, it's quite good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just bought in a pint or.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Bought in a pint. Oh, fucking good. Fucking good.
So, yeah, I suppose we're going, aren't we? He does that to me, just turns the fucking mics on.
Oh, so
That's the game.
have we not started?
Yeah, we've already
I thought
started.
we already started.
So just make sure you talk to the mics.
Repelling a few
Yeah.
viewers.
Yeah, tell them a few stories. Hey, welcome back to the channel, AC, and I've got a few friends in here from Pirates.
Yes.
Dicko and Paul. How you going?
You're good. Good, thank you, mate.
Bad, Andrew.
So, it would be quite easy to sit here and chat about your guys' careers. But
We could probably chat about his for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Even chat too much about mine.
But really what I wanted to chat about was Pirates, because I think that's one of the stories of the season is Pirates have a senior team back in the competition, which is really huge to have a Pirate senior side back in the competition, and for you guys to come on board and get that working. I think that's absolutely brilliant. So where you guys at with that?
Yeah, we've had a lot of players, which has been good. The players have done most of the recruitment. To be fair, AC, like it's it was probably, we had some sessions over the off season, didn't we, mate? And probably started having a few sessions around about October, just making a few murmurs, and then we got all the way through to by about January, February. Well, certainly February, March. We probably still only had maybe a dozen, 15, maybe 20 a couple of times, and we probably thought, shit, is this going to happen? But we said to the boys, look, lads, you need to go and grab some guys by the collar, and now we've got quite a few. I think we've fielded 30 the last couple of games, thank you to the other clubs that have allowed us to do that. But yeah, look, but then again, every weekend you've got 10 or 12 guys away doing something else, so you probably need that number for us. It'd be pretty fair, wouldn't it, mate?
So what's your involvement in that, Paul?
I think every club needs its backbone, and the backbone with Pirates is obviously driven by Dicko here, but you've really got to commend the junior committee as well. They've sort of been purposeful in terms of their support around it, and they've sort of held that club together, since the demise of the senior club in 2016. So, and obviously your backbone incorporates the community of Pirates. You've got your Ross Edwards, your Craig Dicksons, and then your avid supporter was Dave Callens, one that comes to mind. And so you got the history of the elderly, but then you've got then you've got the passion and the pride of obviously Dicko, and and that just draws in everyone around. So I always had faith. I remember Dicko was telling me, "Oh mate, I don't know if we're really going to get this." And I said, "Of course we will."
He did.
He was like Noah, and they all come. So yeah, it was just that faith that we had, and he's right. The players pretty much recruited themselves. They became their own identities in terms of, hey, we're getting Pirates back together, and lo and behold, now we've probably got up to, you're quite proud when you say 30, but I think it's around about 40 players that we've sort of got on our list at the moment. So, which provides another headache, but a good one.
Yeah.
No, well, that's good, because you've got your first home game this weekend, and you've had 3 games away, and you beat my old club, or 2 of my old clubs, Clutha and Crescent.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good to get those 2 wins, and then to have a close one against Dunedin. So you're in the middle of the table in that grade. So that must be a pretty good feeling to get to travel and score points and then come back.
Yeah, we probably surprised ourselves probably a little bit. We weren't really talking about probably performance on the field. It was probably more of the performance off the field that we were most concerned about, and still is, to be fair. But yeah, I think we're fortunate, mate. Like, we're probably a bit of a novelty at the moment. Like, we're certainly playing for something much bigger than ourselves, and boys have brought into that. So there's at the moment there's a lot of energy, which is sort of transferred onto the field. Like, boys are excited, and it's nice to be part of a new team, so to speak. So that's helped. And then obviously we played against Dunedin, and they're a very good team, very, very good. And not that I didn't think they'd be physical, but they stood up really, really, really well. Those young lads. So probably see them as a benchmark. But we weren't too far off, which was nice to sort of know that we're going to be competitive, definitely. Yeah. But getting a team out on the field every week has been the main thing, and then. Just the support of all the other clubs has been phenomenal. Everyone's been for now. For now, everyone's been really supportive, and so getting out there each week, no matter where we are, is a real privilege.
Yeah, because like for me, having Pirates back is a huge thing. Because used to love playing against you guys, and it was one of the stronger clubs in the Dunedin competition at times, especially when we played Colts and stuff like that. When I came up in 1990 and played Colts with Blair and all the boys, and so I'm going to ask a hard question. What was the reason for the club collapsing, the senior club? Did you guys have any idea? Because all we hear is, like, for me, I always heard rumours, and that sometimes bothers me with our own clubs and stuff like that, because generally there's one or two people it's built around, and then if that person leaves or something happens, it tends to fold sometimes. Yeah. So was that the case at
I think
Pirates?
that's probably, that'd definitely be probably a bit of
I think every club's built on, as I mentioned, the junior committee, but every club's built on, the support, the volunteers, and that's, let's be frank, they are volunteers. It's time away from family, from loved ones, that they've got to put into driving these clubs, and it's a thankless job at times. Pirates was at a time where we rid the high through probably the 2000 and obviously 11, 12. I think we made the semis around that time, and everything was sort of going along well. There was a good contingent of players coming through as well, Colts and obviously seniors. I can't say or how the wheels fell off in that, but potentially it might have been through probably lack of obviously support or not being able to drive enough in terms of the recruitment aspect. I know that's a big thing these days. I mean, I've seen you sneaking around a couple of high schools there, Andrew, looking at the younger players coming through. So, there's a lot of different components now to actually make a club function.
Yep.
Pirates is different because we're all there just pretty much, you mentioned the results. Well, I don't think the results that's not the purposeful aspect in our mind. Yep. It's about obviously the community and the club together. So to run a club in terms of the premier aspect, you need to have that recruitment system. You need to obviously have the people in the right positions, coaching personnel. Yep. I mean, the young ones these days require obviously analysis and all that stuff that comes along with it. Don't get me started about that stuff. So, so that's probably incorporated of why sort of, it was probably the right people weren't around the club at the time to actually install and keep driving that club through. So, and then obviously fortuitously for myself and a couple of handful of the Pirates boys ended up going over to Southern the next year. So and we know what happened there. So, but unfortunately, Pirates wasn't able to function anymore. But thank you for the good work and effort that you've driven, Glenn, for starting reigniting. What hopefully might be years to come.
Yeah, that's because that was the next question. What's the hope? What's the plan? Like I'd love. One of my things that I've chatted about was I'd love to see a Pirate senior back in the competition, back in the Premier competition, and I know that it's going to be a hell of a lot of hard work on your guys' behalf, and also the players have got to buy into it. And what you're talking about with your players you got now, because it's the players that run the culture. You just facilitate it, and then you give it to your leaders, and then they've got to run with it. And that's so to build that again into a Div 2 team, and then into a Premier side. So you've got the start. That's the key. You've got the foot in the door. Yeah.
We do. I don't know how much you've thought about it, mate. I haven't really. Yeah. Like Ogre's just he's bang on. Like shit, the amount of effort now to run not just a Premier team, but a successful, competitive Premier team, like the amount of effort that goes in, the amount of resource, like it is phenomenal, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, I don't like. I'm not. I've just haven't even really thought about it. I mean, our theme is one more year, so we're just concentrating on the here and now and trying to enjoy every single training together every week, and I'm bloody loving it because you don't have that. We've got to get to here mentality. Like, I'm not saying that would never be the case, but I'm just enjoying the here and now. I think probably a next logical step for Pirates, in my mind, I don't know if Otago would be the same, but I suppose down the track, whether it's a couple of years away, I would love a junior Colts team for boys who might not have been first 15 players or were, but just want to go back to where they played their junior club rugby, have a good time, play some good footy. I think that would probably be the only thing that's really crept into my... A women's team as well. The women's team's always been a big part of Pirates as well. So maybe that would be something that would be... And look, to be fair, like half of my son's team at Pirates is girls. Yeah. So a place for them to go when they leave high school as well would be phenomenal. Because let's face it, the women's game's going pretty bloody good. So
because they've got that under 21 social grade for the Colts. Yeah, and that's a good space for you guys to start.
What do you think, mate?
I totally agree. It's the here and now. We're here, or Pirates is here for the community value of it. Particularly, it's the sense of belonging when you walk into a club rooms. Pirates haven't had that. Yes, they have for the juniors, but they're there for an hour for prize giving, and then away you go. But to enhance the spirit and the community value of not just South Dunedin but avid Pirates followers, it's great for some an old boy to return and walk into a club room at 5:30 and go have a beer with the old guys or even mix with obviously the parents of juniors. So and that's ultimately what it's about. And every club's the same. It's just having a social aspect. And that's just the byproduct of obviously what rugby brings, particularly at what we're trying to do at Pirates.
Because I think like in the community today, we need it. We need somewhere besides sitting on your bloody phone, put your phone down, and go watch some sports. Be a part of a club, and I think it will grow because I've seen in the country it's growing. That's really strong in the country clubs, and you would have known that when you went down to Clutha and you went down to Kai, and you can see how important it is to their communities. But I think it's a wee bit different here in Dunedin because it's a bit closer. But I'd love to see that community come back, where the club does fill up with the old fellas, and where you can go and have a beer and something to eat on a Saturday night. I do that all the time now. It's like, I go to Southern, I'll go get my pint, and then I'll go get my tea, and then sit there and listen. It's good now that I've stepped back from being club captain. It's like I
can
sit back and
in some ways,
it's a bit like you guys. Like you've kicked off something and you want to make it grow. And here at Southern Rugby and the YouTube channel, it's the same thing. It's like this is damn well new, and it's scary because like you can see how much has gone in here. Staples has put into it, and we're really trying to put social media around our rugby and our product here in Otago, and that's why I wanted to get you guys on here and talk about Pirates rugby. So that's the key. It's we're all mates.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, 100% right, mate.
Yeah. So with you guys this weekend, who have you got this weekend?
The mighty Toko Morero. Yeah.
So They're a good club, and they've just celebrated a Jubilee as well, I believe. So it should be a great game for you guys up there. So
that is
it's a special day. First home game.
Yeah. Homecoming. So it'll be emotional. Definitely be emotional for all the boys and their families and guys that are coming back down. So glad to share it with Toko. They've got a pretty awesome history as well. So. Just been down at Hancock Park actually. She's all marked out, and Smaley's working on some better posts for us because they look like toothpicks, but we'll hopefully get some bigger ones at some point. But he's been very good. He's got the field in great nick. So Ogre's going to trot out there and stamp all the grass down and rack it all up and take some heads off. So entertain the crowd for a bit. So we're all looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing is, you guys will be going home and you're not sure how you're going to feel, what it's going to be like to have the crowds on the side again. And, it's like turning back the hands of time and you're back into it again, And I just wish you all the best.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Do real
Cheers.
well. I'm
Thank you.
actually thinking about once I'll pop around and have a beer with you guys afterwards.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that'd be a cool thing to do.
Yeah, of course. No,
So-
I'd love that.
Yeah. So we'll wrap this up, and if you are real supporters of Pirates Rugby, I suggest you get down to the Southern Rugby. Not sorry. Fuck. I'm gonna cut that out.
Hancock.
I suggest you get down to Hancock Park and support these boys and get in and have a beer with the guys. So cheers, Dicko.
Cool. Thanks.
Oh,
Well done.
I deleted that. It's a good thing about it.
They're only a stone's throw between the two clubs anyway.